Who are you now? Life is full of transitions, some expected, and some that shake us to our core. I'm Chrissie Morgan, and this podcast is all about navigating those moments and discovering who you are on the other side. We'll talk about self-nurture, midlife, reinvention, and how change, when embraced, can be the greatest gift. Through real conversations, expert insights, and unfiltered truths, we're going to explore what it means to shift, evolve, and fully step into the life you're meant for. Welcome to Who Are You Now? Today, I want to take you deeper into what we call the shift, what it really looks like and what it really feels like. If the intro episode planted the seed, this is where we water it. I'm sharing my own turning point, not to be the story, but to help you find your own. Because sometimes the shift doesn't start with a leap. It starts with a whisper. The shift doesn't happen all at once. It whispers in a quiet feeling inside of you, this isn't working anymore. Maybe it shows up as exhaustion. Maybe it comes through frustration. Oftentimes, though, it shows up as a gradually increasing resentment for yourself or for others. Or maybe it's just that deep down knowing, I can't keep going like this. Have you ever felt like you're just checking things off a list? Always moving on to the next thing without actually experiencing what you just finished? That was me every single day. And honestly, it was everything I just described. Exhaustion, frustration, resentment. I remember one morning, I drove all the way to work and realized I had no memory of the drive. Does that ever happen to you? My body had done it, but my mind was somewhere else. That's when it hit me. I was missing all the good stuff about living life. The joy, the presence, the connection. And without joy, how could I ever feel gratitude for my life? Real gratitude. And I had a great life, but I wasn't feeling it. I was just doing it. That moment of realization, that's the beginning of the shift. When you finally start paying attention. And paying attention changes everything. But here's the thing. Awareness alone isn't enough. Just knowing something needs to change doesn't actually change it. I spent years in that phase. The shift really begins when you start nurturing yourself differently. For so long, I ignored what I needed or even wanted. I focused on holding everything together. My work, my responsibilities, my family. Everyone else had what they needed. But I completely abandoned myself. Physically, my body had become unrecognizable. I used to be so fit. Emotionally, I was drained, trying to be a guide and mentor to my kids without much support. Mentally, I was not in a good place. I'm pretty sure I was functionally depressed. And spiritually, I felt broken. My higher self was in this constant battle with the part of me that felt obligated to do everything for everyone else. It's like a kid in class who constantly raises their hand to be heard, and no one ever calls on them. Are you that kid too? It took me a really long time to realize that self-nurture isn't something extra you do when there's time. It's not a luxury. It's needed for survival. And it's the catalyst needed for real change. So where do you start? Sometimes it begins by allowing yourself to be nurtured by others. Go get a massage. Have lunch with that one friend who gets you and supports you. No questions asked. Maybe even ask someone else to take something off your plate. But true self-nurture, that comes from you. Start by separating what's yours and what's not yours. Like you're sorting laundry. The pile that's not yours, leave it alone. Because everyone needs to do their own laundry, if you know what I mean. Every time something crosses your mind, ask yourself, is this mine? And if it's not, that's where it ends. Stop letting it rent space in your head. Actively change the direction of your thoughts. It takes a lot of practice, but I promise you, you will be amazed how much space you get back when you stop focusing on what others need to do to make you feel better, and instead ask, what do I need to do to nurture myself? Redirect your thoughts and energy towards what is yours. Like how you speak to yourself every moment of every day. Because the voice of self-nurture is kind, compassionate, gentle even. It is not self-deprecating. It is not harsh. And it is not judgmental. It's asking, what do I feel like doing right now? It's listening to your body instead of pushing through. It's nourishing your soul, not just your to-do list. Sometimes self-nurture is going for a walk with no destination or time limit. Sometimes it's resting at 2 p.m. without guilt. And sometimes it's saying no thank you without an explanation. Let me ask you this. How hard is it for you to say no thank you without launching into a list of why you aren't able to attend something? Oh, I have to get to this, or oh, I have to do that. And then I'm supposed to be here or there, instead of simply saying, no, thank you. That's not going to work out for me. You know why we do this? It's because we are so very concerned about how others perceive us. And underneath that is a much bigger elephant in the room. It's because on some level, we do not feel worthy of doing what we really feel like doing, much less even asking ourselves the question. The shift is deeply personal, but when you allow it to happen, everything changes. Reflecting back, I can see the smaller shifts that came before the big one. At first, it was subtle. unawareness, exhaustion, resentment. That whisper saying, this isn't sustainable. You're going to get sick. I started saying no thank you more often. I started stepping back from people and roles that drained me. But still, I felt pulled in every direction. The real shift came when I finally gave myself permission to pause. And here's what really shook me. I found myself reading old journals from 10 years earlier. And I was saying the same things over and over in the present. I can't carry the family like this much longer. I want more time with my kids. I don't want to be exhausted all the time. I'm worried about money. I knew deep down that if things didn't change, I was on my way to developing an autoimmune disorder. Something like chronic fatigue syndrome. Because let's face it, I was chronically fatigued. But when your body goes there, your 100% max goes down to like 50% max of what you used to be able to do. And that's it. That 50% is like, it's your new ceiling. It was terrifying. Yet I kept going. So much of what I wanted relied on other people changing so I could feel better. And the rest? Self-judgment. I need to exercise more because I don't like my body. I have to do it all. Hold it all together. Because if I don't, no one will. I had made my life very, very hard. So I did something completely out of character. I took a month off. I took a major pause for me. The first week, I panicked. I woke up every morning anxious with a checklist in my head. Clean the closets, exercise, be productive. But instead, I stopped and I asked, what do I actually feel like doing today? And I answered, I want to lie on the couch and read a book. So that's what I did. Each day, I repeated the question, what do I feel like doing today? And each day, I gave myself permission. By the third week, my nervous system had calmed down enough that I wanted to move. I wanted to exercise, not because I had to, because my body was asking to. That one question, what do I feel like doing right now, changed everything for me. I noticed I started speaking differently to myself in my head. Maybe because I was finally listening to my other bodies, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual, that my mental body shifted as well. Giving myself permission to not only be heard, but also follow through with self-nurturing actions required to show that I was listening to my body. My mental state shifted big time. The voice inside my head became the person I thought I needed outside of myself. It became a kind word when I wasn't feeling great. It became a guardian to having boundaries around not pushing so hard. You know what my mind became? It became who I am to other people. You know how we can be so gracious and understanding and wanting to help others? but we don't seem to speak to ourselves in the same way. Self-nurture flipped that script for me. Sure, I slip back into the mean mental voice every now and then, but I'm quick to catch it and redirect my thoughts now. You know why? Because self-nurture isn't just about taking care of yourself. It's about believing you are worthy of being nurtured and taken care of. Now, I know not everyone can hit a big pause button, but you can grant yourself some part of every day to ask, what do I feel like doing right now? And it may be that instead of running down your checklist to see what else you can knock out in like the next 30 minutes, you choose to pause, take a deep breath, and listen to the whispers of your body. Let's talk about what happens when you self-nurture consistently. Your core vibration starts to resonate. I am worthy of being nurtured. And that's what's being sent out into the universe. And the universe responds. That vibration comes back to you. It's the law of attraction, right? So you may decide to leave a toxic relationship, or it may decide to leave you. This could be a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work environment. And it won't be hard like it used to be, because your core vibration is now, I am worthy of being nurtured. So all things that don't nurture start to fall away from you. And you now attract only things and people and situations that nurture you into your life. So let me ask you, are you in the awareness stage? Feeling that quiet knowing that something needs to change? Are you resisting the shift? Ignoring the signs because it all feels too overwhelming? Or are you in the middle of it? Choosing to nurture yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar. What would shift for you if you stopped fixing everything for everyone else? What would open up if you choose rest over guilt? Wherever you are on the journey, you're not alone. The shift isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing it. It's about showing up for yourself differently in ways that feel unfamiliar at first, but ultimately, it feels like freedom. It feels like peace. Our shift has ended for today, but I would love to hear from you. Where are you in the shift? Drop a comment, send a message, or share your thoughts on social media. And if this episode resonated with you, make sure you're subscribed. This is just the beginning. Next week, we'll keep exploring how small acts of self-awareness and self-nurture can ripple into big changes. Let's keep shifting together.